to call of duty from my country, and to be as fair as I can, and to be as proactive and as bring everything that I have, all the experience and the education that I have to bear upon this situation, so that we can actually find a way forward. So this is really the priority at the moment. As for more violence and so on, I told you there will be no violence and there will be no conflict here if President Nasheed cooperates and if President Nasheed stops calling for violence in this country. I am expecting a responsible leadership from Mr. Nasheed. I know he's a celebrity in some ways, and he likes to be on the streets, but we have to take national interest first, not his personal popularity or his personal desire to become famous on the streets. If you are responsible, you have to begin to put national interest first. And here we have our hands open, reached out to the party to work with us.
I'm Niels Horner from National Swedish Radio. Yes. I have a slightly different question. What was your reaction to the attack on the National Museum? And secondly, are you concerned about the spread of extremism in this country?
Okay. No, this is totally unacceptable. The museum is our heritage. That's where we have our history. And I will not tolerate that. It is not acceptable at all. We need to protect that. Of course, when something like that happens, automatically it is used as a case of extremism. I can assure you that there is no extremist violent activities in this country. And in a Muslim society, you have to expect parties that are representing religious perspectives. This is natural. This happens also in advanced developed countries. So in that sense, even in President Nasheed's cabinet, he always had a minister representing the Islamic ministry. And in my cabinet also, we will have somebody representing that. But the majority of the intellectuals in this country, and will be reflected in also the cabinet, where you will have mostly highly educated, mostly Western educated people in that cabinet, who will have to engage with each other to find a way forward that is acceptable to majority of the population here. So these are fears that are being played on for political reasons, and I urge you not to pay too much attention to that. I am optimistic that our leadership, that my leadership and the colleagues that I have in the cabinet are reasonable people who understand what development means, what is good socially and culturally for our people. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, following this issue, actually, I would like to ask you, if my name is Raimondo Bultrini for La Repubblica Italian newspaper.
I see.
You had an interview by phone.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
So, the question is, the reason why it was necessary to, let's say, us to get rid, let's say, of this former president by a big country, a small country but big economically and as a strategic country in this area, right? So what was so serious in his behavior? I can give you a few points. Okay, the judge who was arrested, but the judge who was arrested actually was well known in this country also for the critics for his corruption. And yourself and other people in the government before agree that there was some problem with this judge. So, I mean, who was making more problems, the judge or the former president? For example, this is one point. And then, for example, the behavior of the former president like many people, many allegations that he was like having alcohol, and then in the house is forbidden here. So having behavior who are not, like say, anti-Islamic in some way. So the people also fear here that he put in the capital town many SPA, and who were before like it's a close inside the resort. So the population doesn't like this. So which one of these allegations, the judge, the Islamic point of view, is the stronger one? Which one? I mean, the motivation really led the police or the army, whatever, rebellion against him and put here in his place?
I don't know exactly what inspired what happened. In the sense that with the information that I have now, I categorically deny that there was an overthrow. This is not the case. There's not only one incident. There has been a series of violations and contempt of court, criminal contempt of the court by the president over a period of time, which included, among other things, locking down the Supreme Court, arresting leaders of two political parties and detaining them arbitrarily without charging them, and international community had to intervene to have them released. Suddenly, very erratically asking his entire cabinet to resign one day and all of them to go to the parliament to demonstrate outside, putting locks on parliament, the gates. This kind of erratic and irresponsible and sometimes unconstitutional actions have gone on over the last 2-3 years. People have been very patient with him. And then what broke the camel's back, as I said, were these particular incidents when you have a country where you have reasonably well-educated people, highest literacy rate in the whole region, many of us educated in the West, who want a society in which we are free from fear. And for the first time, after many years of struggle, we have a constitution that guarantees Bill of Rights, individual freedoms, and safety, individual safety, separation of powers, and the rule of law, all of these things. And then suddenly you find out that suddenly in the middle of the night, it's not Mr. Ghazi himself that we are worried about, but suddenly you have a president who is ordering his military to go and snatch a judge from his bed and take him to an undisclosed location, keep him there indefinitely without access to legal assistance. If he has charges against him, he should bring charges against him. This is the issue. It's not about the judge. It's about a serious criminal violation of the Constitution and the judiciary and civil rights. A champion of democracy cannot do something like this. You cannot infringe on the personal liberty of somebody, irrespective of who it is. Today it is a judge, tomorrow it is head of another political party, and another day it's an Islamic scholar or somebody else. So this is something that people will not tolerate in this country, and it is an affirmation of our belief in democracy and democratic values, for which we are not ready to compromise. And when he starts issuing unlawful and unconstitutional demands, people sometimes stand up and say enough is enough. So he realized he did not have the support of his own military, support of his own police force, and support of a large population of this country. And then now he's behaving like he's somebody who has been overthrown and victimized. If ever there is a cause of what has happened, he is largely responsible for it, nobody else. There was no plan, there was no plot. If we all had a plan to do this, we would be much better prepared. Where are we? You know, our story hasn't gone out. We don't have a media strategy. We don't have people to work with us, because all the important positions in government and private sector were taken by MDP of the president's party. He doesn't want anybody other than his own people in every single job. So this is